How would you say the game has changed since you first started out as a youngster?
It's like a different sport, basically. 20 years ago, there weren't stats. We weren't wearing GPS vests out there. We weren't doing all these things. You used to do meetings about oppositions, but not as much. It was a lot of it was 4-4-2. Play in their half, win your duels. Obviously, that's still in the game now, but there's so many patterns of play. There's so many. It's more robotic. Especially the top teams. When you watch football in the Premier League, it's so robotic, and there's no mavericks out there. In my days, there was the Ronaldinhos and them kind of players. That was just great to watch. So I don't watch as much football as I used to, not because I don't love it as much, but just because some of the top games aren't enjoyable to watch, and that's just my personal view because there's no mavericks out there.
I agree with you. I think the top level of football is lacking characters. Is that something you'd like to see? More mavericks in the game, more players playing off the cuff?
Yeah, I think they do, but I don't know if they actually will be, because the way the kids get brought up in the academy these days, and the running stats and how hard you've got to run and certain things like that to make it, I don't think there will be. And that's the sad thing about it. Like, on the top of my head, I can't think of a Ronaldinho or R9 or Gaza, George Best or Tarap's, someone just like even in like at that kind of level, like to play like that. I don't think you probably have to think of one. Literally is doing that. Obviously, you've got the likes of the good English players like now, like Phil Foden, and you've got Jude Bellingham, who's England's hope. He's a fantastic player, but he's half a robot. Like he will cover the most distance. He will score you a goal here and there, or more than here and there. But he's not gonna get you off your seat and make you go buy a ticket. But that's the top players. And Haaland the same. He's just an absolute machine, but he's not a maverick. But that's just the game, how it's changed over the past 20 years that I've been playing.
Is that not good for the lower leagues? Because obviously fans are going to get to see players that they can relate to, the sort of players that they want to see.
Yeah, I believe that. I think if you went down the leagues, you probably see, more players, more free-spirited. Maybe that's why they're in the Football League and are not at the top, because they haven't got that side to them. And it's a bit off the cuff. There is some good players, in the Football League, Championship, League One, League Two. There is some really good players, and maybe they'll get their move after that and to the top, and maybe install it to them, or that haven't worked out in the top league and they come back down into lower leagues. But there is some good quality players in the Football League, and I feel that people, when you watch it on telly, I speak to some people and they say they'd rather watch EFL than a top game these days.
How do you reflect on your time in the Premier League? Because one thing we can be certain of, you weren't robotic.
No, I enjoyed it, but I was at the perfect club at the perfect time. I had half a freedom to kind of to be. I wasn't a maverick. I was the link player where I could express myself to do certain things, and it was well documented. I went over 20 games without scoring, but the input that I was given to the team, the manager, he never dropped me, and the fans, they took to me. And kept me going through, the times that I wasn't scoring, and I was playing some of the best football I've ever played, and that's all because of the team and the club and how they looked after me, and how they gave me that free spirit to go and enjoy myself.